This episode hasn't been recording, everybody.
We haven't done this in a while.
This is what we call a real fuck up.
Oh, hey, well, you know what? The people in chat have it. So I hope you appreciated this live show just for you.
Yeah, somehow the pause button got knocked on the recorder.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we technically do have the webcam's audio, and that is unlistenable trash. So,
you know.
how about we restart the show? We can talk about the stuff we haven't spoken about yet, and then at the end we can recap some of the stuff very quickly.
We're just going to have a little... let's just...
It's a short episode.
It's going to be a short episode.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks.
Let's go.
Welcome. Oh, so what about all of your really...
I think we lost all the funny shit at the beginning.
All our funny banter. Oh, no.
Yes, about a minute into the original recording. Okay. Tonight on 8.5-bit, we messed up the recording, so this episode is going to be very short. Click.
No time for clicks.
Welcome, friends of all design, to the second half of episode 249 of 8.5-bit, which I'm sure is going to be, well, the rest of the episode.
You're not doing this anymore, right?
Yeah, well, they don't know.
They don't know because,
So audio recorders can mess up.
Yeah.
And ours did.
Yes.
Because of me. Or maybe James bumped it. Let's blame James.
Well, why not?
He didn't.
Let's just do it. Oh, classic James, bumping buttons.
Okay, so we've spoken about a lot this episode so far, and we might touch back on some of it, but we're just going to talk about the stuff we haven't spoken about yet. So I'm your host, Paul, and joining me today is my good friend, James.
Hello.
And we don't need to do any of the jokes, because there's no time.
No.
Oh, man, we spoke about so much shit.
If you had been in the live stream...
If you've been in the Discord, you have heard.
Then you have heard. So,
including me technically breaking an NDA.
Yeah, well, no, we haven't.
No, last week, when we broke the Dreams NDA,
yes,
we didn't because I released it after they took it down.
Good job, us.
I waited.
Yes.
I waited because I realized I kept breaking it, and I'm like, oh no, that actually I did stretch that a bit too much. Not that it mattered; it was always out, but now then it was down. So I was a good boy. It just sounded like I was a bad boy because I was almost about to.
You like to
sound
like the bad boy.
It's true. It's true. So, things we haven't spoken about yet. James, you and I have been playing Resident Evil 2.
Oh, we have been playing. In fact, here it is right here.
Well, that's actually a game case. The game's inside the
game's
PS4
down
right
there,
now.
really. And it's, what is the game?
So James and I have been playing this together, as is tradition for James and I with horror games.
Yes.
Whilst I have developed the steel fortitude over the years, James remains a easily folded paper boy.
Yeah, in fact, it's gotten worse as the bends have made me more fragile.
Oh, the bends?
Yeah, in the paper. The bends. Yeah, I was doing some deep sea diving. I have to spend my life in a tank.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, so Resident Evil 2 is the remake of Resident Evil 2, Capcom. It's been going bloody gangbusters so far. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the numbers. I think it was 5 million so far out.
Good job, game.
Going very good.
It's... okay, so... We get our remakes of things, our HD remakes of things every now and then. This is one of those... They've remade it with modern sensibilities to make something which is the way I remember it. No, better than the way I remember it being.
Well, I never played 2.
Because you didn't play. I played a little bit of it, but I didn't really get into the kind of the PlayStation 1 stuff that much. Sort of more came on board in PlayStation 2. But I still have some nostalgia just for the general genre. Like I played enough of, say, like Dino Crisis. I actually played.
You love Dino Crisis. You know what I hated? Resident Evil. I thought that game sucked. I'm like, this is an Alone in the Dark ripoff, and it can eat my balls.
You remember Alone in the Dark being a lot better than it actually was.
I have played it somewhat recently.
Oh yeah, how'd that go, buddy?
That was very interesting. You know what I secretly love?
What?
I loved the new Alone in the Dark with all the fire physics.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's janky as hell, but boy, that game was weird.
That's the one with the DVD menu?
Yeah.
It's going to be the future of games, DVD menus.
That's the way to go.
That was legit the hook.
So we're going to put a little disclaimer at the front of this. So James and I, when we load up a game, which we are older gentlemen now in our twilight years, there's only so much time between emptying our prostates that we can socialize. Yeah. So when it reached the beginning, it said, "What difficulty do you want?" We went
30 plus, please.
What's that easy one there? My adjustment spectacles. Oh, it'll assisted aiming. Lower health. Yeah, that sounds like us. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you know what? I don't care about killing zombies or fighting a boss and doing it a few times now.
No.
I just want to see the zombies and see the boss.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we put it on easy.
No regrets.
And no fucking regrets so far. Where I sort of looked it up because I didn't know the structure of Resident Evil 2. In our short playthrough, we're about 2/3 of the way through the game.
I didn't realize it was so
far.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool because the thing is, it's not the whole game. We're playing Claire.
Yeah.
And after you play Claire A, you can play Leon B.
Yep.
And then you do the entire game again with Leon A and Claire B. So whilst the whole game, the first playthrough might be like 6 hours long, there's a lot of repeated, but overall like 20 hours of game. And then after that, you've got upcoming DLC, the Ghost Stories, you've got Hunk, which is like the action like running through, and then you've got Tofu mode as well, where you have a piece of tofu. So it's like there's shitloads of content in this game, and it's really well done.
Oh, there is so much love that's gone into it.
Yeah,
like it kind of blows me away because like Resident Evil 2. When it came out, from a graphical perspective, was very good for its time. Like that was one of the things, they very cleverly used pre-rendered backgrounds. They got them looking really nice for the time, and they could focus all the attention on the zombies and on the characters, and it looked good for the hardware that it was on.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah, in my mind's eye, it was good.
Those textures were real wobbly.
Yeah, they're floating point precision issues. Where I look at this now, and this is like infinitely higher fidelity being rendered in real time. I think running at 30 frames a second.
Man, those opening scenes of the rain.
So
gorgeous.
Good. So good.
So
like
good.
The game looks amazing. But what's really impressed me about it is that they've managed to keep the janky shit, like the inventory and all that kind of stuff, but do it in a way that is nice and accessible.
Not annoying.
Yes.
So the best thing about this game, absolutely knockout stand, is the map.
Yes.
You walk into a room, you look around the room, you look at the map, and if there's something left to do in the room, it's red. And if you've done everything in the room, it's blue.
Oh, what about, Paul?
Yeah.
When you've used the item for the last time.
Yeah, if you've used a key and it's the last door that has that key, it says, this item's been used for the last time. You can just throw it away if you want. Yeah. And you just go, discard, it goes away, and you lost nothing. And all the doors that you couldn't open, they're all marked on the map. And you go over it and it says, this is the heart key door.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, that's where I go now that I have the heart key.
All I need to know.
All the information is on the map. And you can't overlook, like if you've gone past an item and just not seen it, it just gets written on the map. Come back here later if you need some pistol ammo. It's still there.
So it's like even though you've got limited space, and you just go back, put in your inventory. If you're low on ammo, you can just look at your map and go, I just got to go there.
You can plan your runs. You can see where everything is. It respects the player's time so much. Yep. There's no just wandering around bullshit, which you tended to get after your initial exploration while you were trying to basically Metroidvania your way through. Okay, what key do I have to get? Okay, where did I do everything?
What I absolutely love about it is that they could have very easily gone, okay, we're going to remake this game. Let's kind of take the floor maps. We're going to go back to the beginning, redesign the whole thing, and then have this new Resident Evil experience. Yeah, they could have gone that path, and I'm sure it would have been good. Instead, they went, how do we fix it?
Yeah.
How do we take what we have? We're going to be very faithful to what it is. What do we need to do to make this work in a modern day and age?
It really is. It's such a throwback with like it's weird, stupid puzzles like statues and weird keys and all this rubbish. But it all just still feels fun and natural, and like getting boards to nail out the windows. Was that in the original at all? I was hearing someone said it wasn't, but I can't confirm.
Even though it's real janky how they appear.
Oh my god!
Like, for a game with so much beautiful
there's
polish.
Literally no animation. You just say boards and windows, it just goes clonk. Like you've done it.
No particle effects. No like nothing. It's just like boards. The rest of your game is phenomenal. But it's one thing, your boards.
Oh, I love the boards. The boards are amazing. But also, so zombies, like, okay, my basic rule is three bullets to the head will knock down most zombies. I say knockdown because sometimes they'll get back up, and sometimes it's not 3, and sometimes it's 1,
Yes.
and sometimes it's 8. And you're like, but I got them all in the head. Why haven't they fallen down? And after the 8, they fall to the ground and you go, oh, well, they're definitely dead now. You walk past them, they jump up and grab your fucking ankle. And you're like, oh, I can't rely on any of this. Unless the head's actually exploded, they can come back at any time.
And it just adds that nice bit of tension.
Yeah.
To like, oh, it's down. I think it's down. Let's just put another ball in just to be
just
sure.
In case.
Like, I just want to be sure.
I'm just going to shoot it again, see if he moves, see if he reacts. You know, like
it's a nice little touch. Like, it's just adds that little bit of unknown.
I am having a wonderful time. I want to continue very soon. I don't know what else really to say. I can go into more detail, but it's just really good. Put together.
It's one of the best remakes that I've seen. Like, it's just they've managed to keep the essence of what that game is, but bring it to a modern context, make it look beautiful, make it play really well, especially with that assisted aim.
Yeah. We may be pussies, but we don't care.
Because I think most of the puzzles are the same. I don't
believe
they've changed them, but they're still like they're just presented in a way that we haven't been stuck by anything dumb, and maybe that's because of the map. Like, we just have a better idea of what we need to do next, where we need to go. But yeah, like, we haven't hit anything which I'd expect to when playing an old game.
James.
Yes.
Speaking of a heart key.
Yes.
The chat has asked, have either of us experienced Kingdom Hearts 3? No, we haven't.
No, I haven't. I think I've experienced a quarter of Kingdom Hearts 1, and I thought it kind of played like shit and got bored. And then I played maybe Dream Drop.
I just want them to drop their story and do a different story.
Yeah.
In like the cool universe of Square and Disney. Actually pay that off.
I remember
like everyone just says like the Disney stuff is actually irrelevant to the story. It's just a place you are. We've got to care about the nobodies and the heartless and the
last I played was Kingdom Hearts 2, and I had just played the intro. And I got to the point where it started saying something about how I was the nobody.
This sounds like me with Metal Gear Solid 3.
Sora, and like I thought, wow, this is really interesting and deep, and I stopped playing, and I've now learned enough about it that it's just kind of dumb.
I've heard some comparisons to Twin Peaks.
That sounds relevant. No, I really wish they would make that game penetrable to someone. Or to anyone. That'd be nice.
It is tough because they've like built up this whole legacy of it, but it's the actual main characters and the actual story is not what the casuals like. We want to come and see Cloud fight Mrs. Teapot.
It needs a soft reboot. Like, but they're never going to do it. They're too at least they're in for a penny, in for a pound.
Oh yeah.
You know, it seems madness to me that you would take that much money and pour it into something so impenetrable to anyone that hasn't gone and played the last 10 years and 12 games to figure out what the hell's going on.
I think there's only 8 games.
Only 8.
Yeah.
Oh, including the mobile one.
Mobile ones.
Mobile ones.
There are multiples.
Which are all canon.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Looks real pretty.
Apparently. I just can't do it. Anyway, let's continue with the many things that we have played and some we haven't spoken about. I played through Pikuniku.
That was one we played at PAX.
Yeah, so it was a game we played at Devolver Digital. It is you're a little blobby man with some long legs that are sort of procedurally animated as he walks around. It's kind of cute, and you kick the shit out of things. James and I played it at PAX. It's two-player co-op. You're just trying to get through these little puzzle levels, and it was fun, but a little bit janky. We hit a few bugs with it.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Kind of, it's physics puzzles, so...
Things but, it was all right.
Yeah.
That's not what the game is. That's the co-op mode. The game is a single-player adventure.
Oh, that sounds like a Paul thing.
Where you explore the world and you talk to people and you solve their problems and you find items and hunt down rocks and fight monster bloody robots.
They should have shown some of that in their demo.
I mean...
Because the impression I was left with after the demo was, it's a bit of a janky puzzle.
A lot of people
puzzler.
Like, it's not.
Yeah, okay.
You do all those things, but it's more charming than that.
Okay.
You emerge from a mountain, and you are the beast. oh, the beast has arrived. And then you arrive and like, oh, you don't look particularly scary. You can find a beast mask and you can just sort of growl at people, but they don't.
They're not buying it.
But they are angry because you accidentally broke their bridge. So it is a somewhat short game, probably 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
I was surprised when it ended. I thought I was like at the mid-game climax, and it's like credits. But you can continue playing after the credits, and there's more things to discover and unlock, and the world is sort of like changed slightly after the end of the game events. There's nothing major there, but there's a few mini games to discover and stuff like that.
I don't know. The developer in me is thinking, what if they just ditched that co-op part?
Oh, that's some people's favorite part. I haven't played it in the final version yet.
Yeah, okay.
But apparently that whole co-op thing could be 100% in like half an hour.
Okay.
So we probably did half of it.
Oh, okay. I know, we were pretty terrible.
We were pretty bad. Well, you were pretty bad.
Yeah, I like to think I dragged the whole Wii down.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, I was like, okay, I'll line this up. You just have to kick it. Just push the one button, James. Yeah. Just in time, just push the one button. No, James. Yeah. Here, I'll set it up again. Here we go. Okay, push the button, James.
Had good times with good friends.
Oh, yeah. It's good times. It's got pretty amusing writing. I was thinking comparatively. I would put it up as genuinely funny a lot of the time. Not huge belly laughs, but like this is cute and amusing. It's just a very nice, pleasant, easy game. It's an endearing game. I guess. Yeah, I'll put it there.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think it's around a $12 game. Probably a little bit too much because it really is. Even all the content is really only about 3 hours long, so it's quite short. Kids would probably enjoy it a lot because it's very funny the way it's animated and move around. But it can get a few difficult parts, but they're mostly optional. I realized afterwards. I was at the end of them. I'd get like a mask and an achievement, and I realized, wait, that wasn't critical path. I just went off and found another thing. Yeah. But nothing crazy. You would be able to do it all fine, James.
Oh. Look, I took down that boss in the messenger, Paul.
I
am now a pro platformer.
Yeah, I'm not saying you are a terrible platformer. I'm just saying that there is a limit of your platforming that you're not willing to go past.
Yes, there is.
It certainly does not push that level.
Yeah.
It's just probably harder for like some young kids. So Pikuniku, it's on Switch, I believe PC. It was free on PC if you were on Amazon Prime, or Twitch Prime as it were.
Yeah.
But now I think that's over. Now... do you want to tell us about Stellaris?
Yes.
I know you've been playing that a bit.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about it.
So Stellaris is one of these games that I picked because Stellaris has been out for a while. I think Stellaris was like 2012 or something like that. And Stellaris is one of those kind of 4X games from something. Those guys, Crusader Kings.
Paradox,
yeah, them.
Paradox, when I first paid attention to them as a publisher, I think it was Magica.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I can't wait for more of these crazy multiplayer games.
That's not what it is. So it's sort of been on my Steam account for a while, and I've been playing a lot of shooters recently, and I thought, I'll just play something else, like play a different kind of genre for a while. And also the whole bunch of the expansions are on sale. So it's like, I'll buy them all except the most recent. And apparently it's not that great anyway, and this will get you a very more robust experience.
So I have one question.
Yes.
What is Stellaris?
I say Stellaris, think your 4X space game, like so like your Master of Orion or your Endless Space kind of thing, but real time. So it's much closer to, say, Sins of a Solar Empire, if you ever played much of that.
I haven't.
You have not. So it's think about the pacing of like a 4X, but it's real time, so it's a little bit more of a pet game. So it's not like you're ever going one more turn. Something's always happening, and if you want to, you can speed things up. A lot of the time, I don't, because for me, it's a bit of this kind of zen, kind of chill out experience. But if you want to, you can speed it up, and normally I'll only do that in combat. Like if I'm in a war, I'm like, I just want to kind of blitz through. I'm going to speed it up. What I've been really enjoying about it is that it's a game which is really focused on exploration. So a lot of the times when I'm playing like a 4X game or something like that, they tend to be like, I'm pulled into a war, or I'm going for like the science victory, or like there's very kind of gamey things happening. Where this is like, there is one victory condition, which is have the most points. And once it happens, you can just keep playing. Like it's not like it's like endgame's always a bit of an issue in these kind of 4X games, and they've just decided, let's just not bother. Let's just, we'll just won't make it about that. It's about the journey, kind of getting there. So what I've really liked is that they have all these little narratives, these little stories that you get through the quest system that you get by exploring. So it's sort of I run into a baby space amoeba that's imprinted onto one of my space vessels.
So a Metroid.
Basically a Metroid. And this space vessel...
Sounds like copyright infringement.
This space vessel was... I went on an exploration where it was blinked out of existence for about 100 years.
Could you say Space Wessel?
Space Wessel. Wessel! And it came back with half the crew missing. And then a few years later, the ghostly other half reappeared, which is just some alternate dimension version of it, which is transparent, being swallowed around by this space amoeba. So these are interesting little stories that kind of happen throughout the game. And then the long-running ramifications of this is this space amoeba grows up and now is one of the most powerful things in the universe. It's crazy powerful. So I feel like it does a really good job at giving me these little emergent stories when playing through it, more so than I get from playing Civ or something, where it basically to me feel like big board games. This feels more... I almost want to say role-playing game because... the race
you play a role.
Well, it's because are
you taking it at its face value?
Because when you choose your race, there's no objective it gives you. It's you have to decide what it is I want to get out of this game and how I'm going to do it. So you might decide I want to play a race of robots which are subservient to humans, so you start the game with basically extra drainage on your civilization because you're these service bots that are looking after people, but after a while you can break free of it, and then you can emerge out and go and take over the universe or whatever it is you want to do. Style. Yeah, it's up to you. I've found it a very chill experience to play. I was thinking about why this game has hooked me so much, and I get as much out of, say, Endless Space 2 or Civ 6. And I think it's really, even though a lot of it is quite similar, just the sheer fact it's real time means I never feel like I have my agency taken away. Where if I'm playing something like Civ and it's turn based, there's always my turn, AI turn, my turn, AI turn, and I always feel kind of annoyed and frustrated when my agency's taken away and I'm getting attacked. Where this, even though it'll end up effectively the same, because I haven't prepared for a war, and I'm now being attacked, and I'm going to lose or win or whatever. I think just the fact that I never lose the agency. I never get annoyed. I'm I'll just deal with it. And my ships are moving. It's going to take 20 minutes for those ships to get there. It's the most I can do. All right, well, that's happening. I'm going to go build this thing out here and mine this over here and do this. I always feel like I'm doing something. Yeah. So it's, it's something which is real cheap at the moment. I think on, there's a big sale for it, I think, actually on Steam at the moment, where I think you can get the base game for $2-3 or something. It's real cheap. And I think if you are into those kind of 4X games, it's worth checking out.
That's trash tier cheap.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, very quickly.
Yes.
I finally played through Adventures of Captain Spirit because apparently it's going to have a tie-in with episode 2 of Life is Strange 2.
I'm still going to wait for
it to come out.
Yep.
Yeah. So I played through it, and I remembered when we spoke about it last year, James was saying that there's a puzzle to unlock a mobile phone, and he said, "Oh, you should. You won't get it, Paul." It's great. So I remembered when I started playing. I'm just going to solve this and rub it in James' face because I'm an adventure game person. I'll have no problem.
Yes.
Then it didn't work for the first few things I found. I'm fuck it. I'll just look it up and then I'll pretend I solved it and I'll make fun of James. When I found the fucking solution, there is no way I was pretending that I worked that shit out. That is the worst puzzle ever.
It's a super dumb puzzle, isn't it?
It's so you're unlocking a phone. Now I'm going to spoil the puzzle here because I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
the puzzle does not deserve it. Get unsolved.
So you want to unlock your father's phone to play a game on it. So it's Mr. Mustard Hot Dog or something. The main character is Hot Dog in it. So you want to unlock the phone. It wants a pin. Now, whilst it's not mandatory, I would say 99% of pins in the world are 4 characters long.
Generally, yes.
And you're allowed to enter 4 characters and say okay. It's 8 characters long. There is nothing to indicate that it is 8 characters long. There are a bunch of numbers in the house, heaps of numbers,
dates everywhere.
lots of numbers that are personal to the father. He used to be in sport. He's still interested in sports, but he used to be a basketball player. There's his jersey numbers. There's phone numbers for people that are important. There's all sorts of numbers. None of those numbers. What it is you've got to get the character's name from the video game that the son likes, not what the father likes. What the son likes, that hot dog.
Yeah.
Not hot dog, hot dog. And you've got to type that in with its number equivalents on the keypad.
And the
Here's
best part,
the thing.
the best part.
The best part.
Yeah.
The phone in the game doesn't have fucking letters on it.
Yeah, I know. It's so good.
Every single step of this is...
Yeah.
It made me think, if the designer of this did work in Life is Strange 2, they're in trouble. Because every step of this is wrong.
Yes.
This is not how you design this sort of thing.
Look, it's good that these people are making interactive movies. They're not making puzzles.
Because that puzzle is hot trash.
Oh, yeah.
That is to not have the letters with the letter values on the phone. Because, lots of phones have them. There'd be no problem putting them there. It would give a hint to the player that maybe you're looking
I have
for
to
a
spell
word.
something out.
And having something
something
that indicated the number of characters.
You want to play hot dog? I love that character.
Something that the father likes the game because all they say is the dog. It's like, I don't think he even says, the son could say, I can't wait to beat my dad's score. He's so good at that game.
Yeah.
He's always playing. Anything to indicate that the father might give a fuck about this game. But nothing. Nothing at all. Unless I missed it. Unless I missed the secret diary of how I love the hot dog game. I was just like, this dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yep. Validation. I get it so
You're
regularly.
correct. You are so correct. That puzzle is hot trash. And I hope by spoiling it for people out there, you now understand that it was not a spoiler to spoil it.
No.
Playing it was the real spoiler.
Yeah.
The rest of the game was fine.
It's pretty decent.
That was fine.
And it is optional, but yeah.
It's not optional in a game. You give someone a task list in a game, that is not optional.
Well, it's not optional in the fact that it does say go figure this thing out. If this thing was 100% it's Easter egg. It should be an Easter egg.
You know what game doesn't do that?
What?
Stillness of the Wind that our listeners will never hear about.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, Paul, and no one ever will.
Okay. Anthem had its public demo last weekend. Did we both play it, or did we both attempt to play it?
No, I did play it.
How much did you play it?
Half an hour.
I played it probably about the same.
Yeah.
I went free roam. I couldn't really exit free roam properly. It took me many tries to get into a game. I went into a cave system. I got to the end of the cave system, and there were a bunch of enemies there. And me and another person shot at the enemies until we got bored and wondered, how do we stop these enemies coming? Are we missing something?
Yeah, no,
and then we quit.
Keep spawning. I did the open world thing as well, and I did a very similar thing where I was just shooting dudes because the shooting feels nice.
Oh yeah, I like all the abilities even on the base character. A lot of people hate that base character. I think it feels pretty satisfying.
I love verticality in games. I like kind of quick agile characters, and this game does all that. It's mechanically, it's surprisingly good for BioWare, who traditionally do not make good action games. It's a solid action game. But what concerned me was that I was doing the world, doing my free will thing, doing a meaningless task. And then I heard someone saying they'd fallen over or something. And oh, cool, I'll go check that out. And I went over there, and I was at the end of a public event, which they just killed. And I'm game, couldn't you just have done something to say that there's an event over here? What it is maybe do is realize exactly how masterfully Destiny 2 is made. Because just from how they introduce events, how they present all the menus, how I track all my quests, how it delivers gear.
The fact that when you are selecting a mission in Anthem, you select the mission and then you go back.
You have to go back and then
to launch the mission.
Yeah.
How did this get through anyone? It's so insane. Anthem is basically, I think there are some real good bones there, and this game might be real good in a year and a half. But the fact that most people were having trouble running a fucking match, most people had to launch it multiple times, and it is coming out in 2 weeks?
I liked how when I saw an enemy, the AI didn't pick up I was there, and they just stood there while I shot them. Yeah,
I had a better time with the beta last year, partly because it starts with the intro of the game, so it gives you a bit more context, but what it was throwing to me is the mid-game stuff it has so much work.
Yeah.
Even me, someone that is not. I'm not going to play a Destiny game or whatever. Like, just as like the surface level, I ran into so many little problems that are all fixable. Everything here is fixable.
Yeah.
It's like the bones are good.
Yeah.
But
I expect Anthem 2 is going to be great.
Yeah. I kind of want, like, in my experience, I didn't get anything, because in the original demo, they talked about how they get pockets of these, I can't remember, the anomalies, vortex things, whatever they're called.
Whatever they are.
Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, this area, like, gravity reversed and stuff like that. Like, I was expecting, like, some wacky things coming in from these incidents. I didn't see anything.
No.
It was just flying around.
Yeah.
And I mean, I only played it for a short time, but that's because the servers were so bad, I kept getting kicked out. Like, I couldn't be bothered continuing.
I tried. The reason I didn't play it that much was because I am going to play this when it comes out, because thankfully it is coming to Origin Premium, the Access Premium. And I will. Haven't yet, but I will, because I'll pay $20 to play it and see how it is. But just as an experience, it really, like, it did not make me think, wow, I'm going to go buy this. Like,
I think Anthem just had a major problem yesterday when launching on Origin next to it, which you do not need Origin Premium for, was the game that we spoke about at the beginning of the episode.
Yes, yeah.
Apex Legends, the new game from Respawn Entertainment.
And look, you know, I know these are different things.
They're entirely different genres. But they're both action games.
That's what they've lost out.
And
because what they used to have would be like, we'll get the RP crowd. You know? We'll get the Mass Effect crowd who are going to come in, and they're telling us that we're going to get this roleplay experience. I bet we're not. I bet it's going to just be...
It's going to be pretty
It's going to be pretty service level.
I would imagine
roleplay.
So Apex Legends launched, and this is not going to be as long as the initial one, because we've spent a long time talking about it. But it was Respawn Entertainment doing Battle Royale. But it launched on console, PC. 2.5 million players have played it so far, and it has been pretty fucking solid.
It is phenomenal how well that launch has gone.
It is just like
amazing.
Compared to like everyone else, like launching multiplayer stuff is rough. Excuses to try and get Anthem. Yeah. It's like it's launching in 2 weeks. This game launched first day without any fucking public tests, and it is solid as anything.
There are 60 people running around in that map, and it's a big map.
Yep, and there's a lot of things going on.
There's matchmaking going on, and there's abilities, and
at the moment, I mean, there's so many people playing. I matchmake in about 3 seconds. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah. That 60-person limit, that's so clever. You know when I was trying to jump into Blops 4 Blackout, and it was sitting continuously at 70 people.
Yeah.
No, I would have been playing.
So to very quickly reiterate our highlights, let's think of what we love. So first person, it's team-based.
Yep.
It's 3 people per team.
Can't play solo. It's an important thing.
Yes, you can only play team.
Can only play teams.
It has a lot of really, really clever things. Probably my favorite thing in the game is the tagging system, which I like tagging in games, but this sort of takes it to a next level where pretty much anything you point at and tag, it will give contextual information to the other people on your team. So if I just hit it and I'm not pointing at something, it'll say, I'm over here.
Yep.
If I point at some equipment that someone else on my team may want, I point at it, say it's a level 2 shield, like armor, and I push the middle mouse button, just smooth. I don't have to stop to do anything. Yep. Marks it on their map, puts them on their HUD, and my character says in-game, level 2 armor over here.
Or level 2 scope, like assault scope. It's quite specific.
That's very everything is specifically voiced by each individual character because it's class-based, so everyone has their own voice and dialogue and everything.
With multiple takes, which is nice.
Yep, and it's just... It let me, with just playing with random so far, clearly communicate without needing to be on mic. And it's just been super, super satisfying. Everything in the game is so well designed and so tight that everything just kind of works as I expect. The only thing that I currently am, and struggling is not true, it's just learning the game. It's learning the equipment and inventory slots and stuff like that. That I'm learning, but the interface is still nice and clean.
Yeah, I'm figuring that stuff out. I did have a moment when I was playing where someone spoke on mic. You know what made me think of? I was rewatching Salad Fingers recently because there's a new Salad Fingers. Yeah, new Salad Fingers. Go check it out. And you know the episode
I like it when the white water comes in.
You know the episode where the little girl speaks? And Salad Fingers loses his mind because he doesn't like her mouth words.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what happens when someone speaks in that game to me. I'm like, this is not the rules. This is not what this game's about. I actually, as soon as someone spoke, I went into the options and just dragged down the volume for incoming. I was like, I do not want to hear anyone say anything, use your tag system.
I was the third with a duo, and they were on mic, and it was great.
I don't want to. I don't want to talk to anyone.
They were good old boys. I'll give anyone a chance.
Yeah.
I'll give anyone a chance.
I'm scared. Yeah.
You don't need to talk.
No.
You just use your tags.
I do use my tags. My probably highlight is how they handle death.
Oh yeah,
Like I think that's really one of the things that separates it out from other ones where it's like, okay, so you've got quite a bit of health, quite high time to kill.
Yep.
To start off with, so already there's interesting engagements from the high time to kill, especially when you take into account armor because you've taken the time to get it. Like gunplay feels awesome.
Yep.
Firefights are great. Then if you do go down, there's a good, 30 seconds for someone to come and resurrect you. You can move very quickly. So while dead, you can crawl quickly. So if someone is tucked away, you can just run. They'll crawl quickly to them. And as you've said before, you can keep tagging.
Yeah,
so
even when you're down, you can like warn your teammates where the enemies are hiding and stuff.
You stay engaged. Then if that fails, they've got 90 seconds to get to your body to pick up your whatever it's called, your dog tag, let's call them that.
A banner or something.
Your banner, which then turns into a sub-objective where if they can take it to this resurrection spawn point, then...
Sorry, I'm just going to play words with friends.
No, you do that, buddy. Then they will get you back into the game. So for you, unless your whole team is actually wiped out, there is almost always a chance for you to come back. And that does make a huge difference to like just the pacing of the game.
I thought I was going to get Gex, but then I remembered that's not a word. It's just an amazing video game.
It is a good game.
Yeah, it's Apex Legends has already made a big dent in the Battle Royale marketplace. I think it's going to be one of the highlights of the year.
Oh yeah, I think
it's so polished.
I think
looks great.
Blackout,
it plays
I think,
great.
is largely.
And it started with very strong feelings towards Blackout.
Yeah.
But I think Apex it's the net game to beat at the moment.
Yeah. I think
it'll be interesting to see if it impacts Fortnite and PUBG at all.
Well, I feel like Blackout is the one where I see it kind of hitting kind of the most. I think especially from the COD pedigree of Respawn. So I see that's where it's hitting it because like for me, I've actually been waiting for Blackout to get really cheap. So I could convince some friends to... Because I played Fortnite a while ago, and I actually really enjoyed playing with friends. I just hated the building. Yeah. So, hey, here's this other one, which looks like could be fun if I can get people in. I will say within about 6 months, that game will be free to play. I don't see how Blackout can compete.
The weird thing with COD is that they've said that they're going to do Battle Royale again this year. And it's like, that's not how Battle Royale works. You can't just release a new Battle Royale every year. Yeah. You have to keep everyone in one server environment because you need a lot of people to play the game.
I think what really impressed me about it was like comparing it to COD, particularly Black Ops 4. You know how Black Ops 4 they added characters into that game. Yeah. But it's done in such this wishy-washy way that it means basically nothing. Where I look at Apex Legends and they have added characters very sensibly. Where they look
what
for
do you
synergies
think of the name?
Apex Legends. I think at some point it was called Titanfall Legends, and they realized if they call it that, it's going to really bite them in the ass. And so they took it out. Yeah, I think
the name is the weakest part.
Yeah, and I am sure, given that they have said on the record that they did try this game with Titans in it, and they eventually made the decision to pull them out. I think that would have been about the point. They decided we probably shouldn't call this Titanfall. There are no Titans in it, and they had to come up with a new name.
Personfall.
Yeah. And
Peoplefall.
I think Apex is a term which is used a bit in Titanfall, I think in their multiplayer component. I think it's a word which I associate with the game.
I associate it with points.
And sure, they're legends. The name's fine. Like it's...
it's fine. It's just not... at the moment, I still have to take a second to remember it before I say it.
The big problem I had was trying to figure out what the short version is. Because it's like, I'm not going to call it Apex Legends.
Ape-Legs.
Am I going to call it AL? I think it's just going to be Apex. Do you play Apex?
No. Ape-Legs.
Ape-Legs.
100%.
Ape-Legs. That's it. We're calling it Ape-Legs.
Just like how we're the only people still saying X-Bone.
Oh, yeah.
How did that not catch on? It was right there.
I know,
the whole
buddy.
time.
I know.
Okay, so Apex Legends, it's very, very good.
Yes.
So other things, let's quickly do our news again. We'll do it real fast.
Yeah, go through it.
Okay, Resident Evil 8 is happening. It's going to be third person, not first person. Possibly has Hookman coming back. They've announced the sequel to Groundhog Day, and it's a VR game being made by the developers of the Sexy Brutale.
It's PlayStation VR, right?
Yep. It's going to be weird. You're playing the son of
I am genuinely curious. to see what it is.
I mean, I'm genuinely curious. I also am like, why? And at that point, I recommended the show Russian Doll. And then you recommended a totally unrelated show that has nothing to do with
because like you said Netflix, and I was like, I've been watching The Colony or whatever it's called.
Yeah, exactly. That was a great conversation.
That was good. Missed out. Only the live streamers got to hear it.
We talked about Crackdown 3 and its hilariously bad multiplayer.
We laughed.
You should look that up. Metal. I did it again. I want to say Metal Gear Combat. Mortal Kombat 11 is announced and coming out. There's a lot of details out. Ronda Rousey is playing Sonya, which is funny, I guess. It's okay. Like, I'm not funny. Like, she's fine. I don't follow any of her things, but she seems like she used to play video. She like hosted like a Pokemon thing for years.
Was she on the Zone? No, I don't care.
That would be. Oh man, what if she was? What if we didn't know? She is Australian, isn't she?
I don't know. I don't know much about her.
I don't really know. Get to us quick people that are Googling us on our Discord.
Yeah.
Check if Ronda Rousey is an Australian Pokemon girl.
Facts checkers.
Okay. People were talking about Wessel and Words with Friends.
Oh, yes, we had good jokes.
And we haven't mentioned the Marshmallow concert.
Yeah.
That happened in Fortnite. That was a DJ concert with a lot of people in attendance. I can't talk about it again. Once is more than enough for me. Thank you. Mario Kart Tour, the mobile Mario Kart game, has been delayed, but they also announced Dr. Mario World. I don't care. Metroid Prime 4, this was the big one that we talked about for a while, has been not just delayed, but entirely restarted from scratch.
Yeah, they went back to the drawing board.
Apparently, the original development was split across quite a few developers. It was a real multinational thing, and apparently it was just not something Nintendo was particularly that strong on controlling. So now it's a little bit more in-house. Retro is being involved. If they're leads or not, they haven't really said that, but they're involved.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be another 3-4 years until we see that.
Which, you know what, for another retro Metro Prime, I'm totally okay with that. I'm not in a rush. There's other things to play, and I really want a good Metroid Prime.
Yeah. Discord wanted us to clarify if we said, "Did you ask us to Google Ronda Rousey Pokemon Girl?" And I pretty much did. She used to run like a Pokemon Reddit or something.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. When she was young and nerdier, and probably could still beat me up. Bungie separated from Activision. That happened a few weeks ago now, but we didn't talk about it in the last show. As we sort of said, that's probably good and might involve in some changes or might not.
Yes.
At the moment, we don't really know what it's going to result in.
But it's better than them not.
Microsoft changed its name from Microsoft Studios to Xbox Game Studios.
Yes.
Very, very meaningful change that lots of people will care about. And then I put Nintendo Switch Online, announced their games for February, and then you said, what games? And I said, who gives a fuck? And that
was a sick burn.
Yeah. Man, that service is terrible. And the big one that we then spent quite a lot of time talking about was Metro Exodus. Was being released on Steam. It had been taking pre-orders on Steam for months. It's being advertised on Steam, and then last week they said we are actually going to be a exclusive to Epic Game Store, and they honoured the existing pre-orders on Steam, but now you can't buy it there, and it will be available in a year. And we had a big discussion about Epic's Game Store and it
was very insightful
and all that and blah blah blah. And we don't need to go into it again. There's plenty of people talking about this shit online. My basic gist is that I thought I do not enjoy Epic's current practices of buying exclusives. I think it is anti-consumer. I would appreciate it if they still encourage people to come to their platform, but more offered a better deal, gave them more exposure, gave that sort of thing than artificially blocking off competitors.
My take was maybe Fortnite has pushed things forward and they're just desperately trying to keep Steam going with the platform.
Yeah, I think...
Momentum, I shouldn't say Steam. With their platform.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Otherwise, you think they'd just be funding people.
Yes.
To make things in the
future. They need to get stuff there now, not in a year.
Yeah, and Metro Exodus is a good one to pick for that.
Yes, as I said it's big enough for people to know about, but not so big that they can't afford it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was pretty much the news. Okay, we've actually covered almost.
I think we actually did go back to just a recap. I mean,
we got through most.
Yeah.
So what I haven't spoken about was a game that I started playing today. I won't rant on about it as much. I do still want to mention it. It's called The Stillness of the Wind. I'm playing it on Switch. It's also on PC. I'm not sure about other platforms. It was a game that I was unsure about. I saw I saw it on the store, and it did not really explain itself. It was just sort of supposed to be narrative-ish thing. It was 3D graphics, sort of pastel, flat shaded polygons. It's quite popular in the indie games at the moment, but I didn't really know much about it. Then when keys came up available today, I jumped on one. So PR sent me a key. I checked it out, and I described it to you as if you took if you took Stardew Valley and you walk very, very slowly, and you put a small farm in the middle of the desert, and you're an 85-year-old woman. And that is
what the game is.
The Stillness of the Wind.
And
but it's actually really, really captivated me.
Well, the potential has you captivated.
Well, no, that's the thing.
Yeah.
At the moment, like the game could... I've only played about an hour and a half, 2 hours so far. I do not know how long the overall experience will be. But it starts, and I walk out as this old lady. I'm on this farm. It's very small. I've got 6 chickens, 2 goats. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of land. And I just start experimenting because there's absolutely no guidance. And I work out I can milk the goats and make cheese out of the milk. And okay, that's good. I can make some food that way. Once a day, the mailman comes. If I happen to see him at the front, I can run up and have a chat with him and maybe trade some goods for some other goods or get a letter from him. And those letters are where most of the narrative content comes. So conversation with the mailman is your only personal contact. But the letters are more...
You thirst for it, don't you?
Yeah. Well, when I miss him, I feel like, oh, fuck. I was on the other side of the house.
Yeah.
Why would you... Oh, God damn it. And you can call out as he's walking away. You go, but I'm over here. He goes, see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Goodbye now. But the first letter I really enjoyed because you're an old woman and the days aren't that long. You can only get so much done. And I end up starting sort of planning like, oh, tomorrow's going to be my cheese making day or something like that. So I get this first letter. It's from, I think, my sister, and she's living in the city, the hoity-toity bitch. And she's like, oh, here's a book for you. I know, you don't have much to do on that farm. You just sit around a lot. I'm like, I spent all day rounding the chickens up and doing all the... I planted 3 beans. It took a long time. I'm 85 years old. My husband is dead outside us in the graveyard there. Anyway.
I love the idea that you're playing this for wish fulfillment.
That's my wish fulfillment, being an 85-year-old Russian woman.
It's just
I don't say she's Russian, but I feel she is because of her bonnet.
Is this like the opposite of a power fantasy? It's like an enfeeblement fantasy?
Yeah. And I feel like... And I was saying, like... I feed myself at the end of the day, but they don't expose any mechanics. Even if there are mechanics, I don't know. So I'm always like, well, should I eat lots so I have energy tomorrow? Or should I...
I hope that it's all meaningless.
I do too. Because I don't think it needs to have I don't think things always need to have a mechanical function in the back of it. Yeah. Sometimes I think a system can be basically a storytelling device. Yeah. So how much I decide to feed her is only my conscience. Yeah, like sometimes only my feeling.
It can be horseshoes in a way out.
Yes, exactly. What a monumental moment. It's just real. It's got great music. It's very, very attractive. It does have some narrative elements. Like I had a dream one night. But so each day ends and the camera pulls back and you see the whole little homestead, and then it pulls back in as the dawn comes up. So out in the desert around you, you can see a few little items. So sometimes it's like, I know there's something sort of northwest. I'm just gonna get my little basket in case I can pick some mushrooms on the way. I'm just gonna very slowly as an old woman just walk across the desert, and it's top down, so you got no landmarks, and you can find your way back because you can see your footprints behind you, and just like. One day I woke up and I only had 1 goat, and I realized I left the gate open the day before.
Silly Paul.
Because I was busy doing jobs and I forgot to close all the gates, and I've just lost the goat forever.
It's now starved to death in the desert.
The postman said a couple of days later, he says, "Oh, 1 goat, eh?" Fuck you, postman. I'm loving the game because I don't exactly know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know what I'm achieving other than existing as this person and making these choices as I go. But I am building my own story, and I'm finding it very satisfying so far. And I am just intrigued about what it's going to be. Yeah. And it's a nice. It's a nice atmosphere to be in. It's not like I think I said in the last story, there's a shotgun. And it's the first thing I picked up was a video game. I pointed at a goat and I said, what happens if I go tap again? Oh, you can't tap. It's all clicks. it did nothing because it said I didn't have any shotgun shells, which told me if I had shotgun shells, I would have shot that goat in the fucking head. Yeah. And now I have one shotgun shell. So, how melancholy is this game going to get? I don't, at the moment, it's actually quite, it feels like someone in the Twilight years, but it doesn't feel like it's being depressing about that. Yeah. It feels like it's just sort of exploring that space. Mm-hmm. And it's so far very, very appealing. I like it a lot. Control-wise, it's just cursor controlled. It's okay. But it's slow enough moving that doesn't really get in the way. Yeah, the Stillness of the Wind. Mm-hmm. It comes out. Well, it came out because when we released this 4 days ago. But comes
it's
out
like
tomorrow
a $15-$20 game, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah, it's always that's one thing that I don't like about the Switch. Once something's purchased, you can't go and see what the price is. It just says purchased. Like, I can't tell people what it costs. I got to look it up elsewhere. But yeah, it's also going to be on PC. It's a very interesting game so far. I will report back to tell you if the overall game.
Yeah,
is
I want to know next week or next show, Paul, how this ends up being.
Yeah. It might be it was really nothing. It was just a bunch of repetitive shit, and then it said goodbye.
I think I'm going to wait till then because I'm intrigued. You've made me interested in this.
It's not launching on sale, so there's no point to rush.
So
out.
I'm going to wait until I get your overall impressions.
May as well.
And then I'll make a decision.
Yeah. I feel like it's not going to be super long, but I mean, it could be a few more hours until I get some sort of conclusion to the thing. Now, did we get everything else?
I think we did. I think we actually did a pretty decent job at going through and hitting them bases.
Yes, Ronda Rousey, she was a forum moderator. She was on AIM. Her name was Judo Spiff. She also mentions that she is a 12-foot tall purple dragon. I don't know what that means. I don't think she is.
No.
I'm gonna.
You're gonna call it?
If the bookies are taking on the next Ronda Rousey fight, if she is a 12-foot tall purple dragon,
you're betting against.
I'm betting against that. Anyway, so sorry for how long?
Well, hey, they've still got 50 minutes of podcasts. They shouldn't be too disappointed. And the people on the Discord, they got so much.
They got even extra. What sort of time are we now? Oh yeah. Oh no, actually,
it's not too bad.
It's not too bad. So thank you for watching and listening to 8.5-Bit. You can go to our website, 8.5bit.com, our Twitter and Facebook. Please like and share anything like that. Subscribe to us on iTunes. And if you do, please leave us a review because reviews help us share the love. And join us on Discord where you can hear when we fuck up and don't record most of the show.
So much interesting banter.
It's pretty good. We had a good little crowd tonight. It was nice. We're doing 2 weeks at the moment in between. And we're also looking at launching a game club, which we are I don't think in the name because I think it might be a little too insulting, but I'm thinking of as Trash Tier Club.
Yeah, or like dollar bargain bin.
Yeah, where we get either giveaway or bundles that are for $1 games, and we do that as a game club.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of interesting games, and they may not be polished, but they can still be really worth giving a little dive into. And $1, So whilst they're a buy-in, we'll keep it really cheap.
Yes, that's the idea.
So that's the current thing. So if you have thoughts on that, why not let us know if you're interested in joining in a Trash Tier Game Club, and we can have some fun with that in future. I guess the only other things we didn't actually talk about, because we do have a little bit of time with that, Piranha Plant came out for Super Smash Bros.
Apparently corrupts all your save games.
Only if you play one mode, apparently.
Yeah, it was very strange. Like you jump into Super Smash, whatever the mode is.
All-Stars thing. I don't even know what it was.
It has the potential to corrupt your save.
Yeah, I just played it in Smash, and it was quite a fun character to play. I get all stretchy, and I shoot little spikes at people, and I'm a Piranha Plant, and that is funny to me.
Yeah.
But also, we can mention a little bit of Dreams, I just remembered.
Oh, yeah.
We did end up speaking about it quite a bit last week, which thankfully did get outside the NDA. We were just in time. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to add last week.
I got scared.
Yeah.
Because I jumped into it, and I said, let's have a look at these creation tools. I went, oh dear. You can do a lot.
They get real deep.
Yeah.
I am actually currently looking at the tools. There are a few games that I've had on my I would like to make for a game jam one day list that I've just never had opportunity to. And I'm looking at the potential of whether it can support those concepts because that seems like a good way for me with very little ability.
If you want a game where the character controller's already there, so you can just sort of run a thing around.
That is not the game I'm talking about.
Or you want to use that to leverage other weird mechanics.
I need independent limb control.
Oh, see, now I'm thinking, how would I do that in that game?
Oh, there's lots of ways of doing that.
Yeah. Because I had a look at it and I was like, okay, so you got these these property panels, and then I figured out, oh, you can expand it.
Oh, and it can expand and expand.
Oh crap! Like there's like, oh no, there's a lot going on here.
Dreams is you just look at some of the stuff that's already been created, and some of the stuff that people have announced. Like they're like, oh yes, well I'm developing this full first-person shooter. I'm like, why would you announce that? Like, oh, we're developing a game within Dreams. It's so like wanky, but at the same point, they are making some really cool stuff that doesn't look like Dreams, and I think that's also a really cool thing about it.
Like I feel like there are gonna be hard limitations, but then I think about stuff like RPG Maker. Like, I really could see this thing is going to be... Like, as RPG Maker is a creation tool which has done some really cool things.
Yes.
And it's heavily constrained with what you can do with it.
Yeah.
So this I kind of put in a similar pool. So, like, I can't say look at, like RPG Maker and go, oh, nothing good will come out of it, because we've had, Corpse Party and whatever, look at other ones. And an
additional
RPG. There have been successes that have come out of RPG Maker. So yeah, I absolutely can see. Well, the difference though is there's no way to monetize it. Like that's sort of like where things would be.
It's interesting at the moment. I mean,
I kind of hope they do. Like, the tools are good enough. I like the idea of them saying, we are actually going to look for some kind of financial remuneration for if you make cool things.
There has been talk about tools to be able to export to a separate executable as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But we will wait and see on that stuff. I think that'll be pretty long term. But I mean, this is stuff, people had it for like a month, and they are making some pretty wild things.
What I really want is it to come to PC. Which opens up the option for some scripting to really push it there. Like, to just, like, give you that option to go in to write the scripts that you need to actually make something totally fully fledged.
Yeah.
But keep that interactivity. Like, somewhere, you, like, if I say I was working with you on something and, like, you're trying to get something to work in it, but you've hit the walls, and then you can say, hey, James, like, I want a thing that does this. And I'll go, yeah, cool, here's a thing.
I do wonder if this, even if it does, because there is rumor of it having a PC release, but even if it doesn't, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if you can just plug in a keyboard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess that's got support.
That's
a good point. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I'm just sort of secretly hoping that's like, just give me some scripting options. Like, I feel like that would just like tip it over the edge.
Yeah.
So just like, you can now do amazing things with this.
Hopefully. Okay. Well, that was our post-show discussion about Dreams.
Yeah.
We kicked off everything on our list, I think, now. Yeah, we got it all. Beautiful. I can't believe we salvaged this thing from the trash heap. Thanks for watching and listening, everyone. We'll catch you all in 2 weeks.